Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Kickin' It Creative podcast, where we geek out about board games, the mechanisms behind them, and the people who create them. I'm your host, Candace Harris, and I am so pumped and so happy and so giggly to be here today, kicking it with my good friend, Taylor Reiner, who's a game designer, Sears catalog, a bunch of things that I don't remember right now. And also you run the epic YouTube channel, Taylor's Trick Taking Table. What's up, Taylor? How's it going today?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited. I know we are off the heels from a trick taking convention. So
yes,
it's right on the forefront of everything I think about. And to talk about trick taking even more is so exciting. I'm so excited.
Yeah, same here. Like we were just at, what is it, TJ in Cincinnati, freezing our tails off, I'll say. So cold, but what better to do when it's cold than sit inside and play card games with a bunch of friends. So I always love talking to you just in general, but like talking about like trick taking games, because I feel like you're on like another level from getting to like play a bunch and you cover so many. And it's super cool, but I feel like I haven't seen your videos in a while just because of like busyness. What's new with your channel? And I know you're like busy, like developing games, designing games.
Yeah. It's been an interesting. I'm more in the design and development work lately, and so cut back like 3-4 years ago when I started the channel, and I would be playing a lot of games with my friends that were inspiration for the channel. I'd be like, oh, I should cover this game because it was fun, or people should hear about this one, or I tried to learn it and it was hard, so I might as well do a video to try to teach people how to play this game.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Totally, yeah. No, I love it. Like the Rodney Smith how to play kind of, I think I learned from videos, so I'd love that. But so now what's really tough is I'm doing a lot of development and a lot of design, so those game nights, those game sessions and stuff will be more that. It'll be more playtesting. It'll be more. And also, I've surrounded myself with a ton of amazing friends who also are designing games. And I love getting my friends who are design inclined to design games. And so it's kind of always a soup of playtesting anytime I hang out with friends. I have like a game night now. So it's tough to be like, oh, and then also let's throw this, random trick taking game that I'll eventually cover. So I love the channel. I think I might do a little bit less videos from time to time, just because there's only so much time in the day. But it's been good to then focus on really good games that like need, like when you have fewer videos, you really want to focus on like the best, or maybe the cleanest.
Yeah. That makes total sense. And I completely feel you, because I feel like ever since I left BGG, like I have this triangle or circle of priorities, and like one of them is my board game, but it's like carving out space to like focus on playtesting while you're also playing other games. And I'm doing freelance work, so I'm playing so many games, and it's a very good problem to have. But I know exactly what you mean. I think like you, like I love doing them all, right? Like if I was like only doing game design and working on my game, that would be so fun. But then if I was only playing a bunch of awesome games, that would be so fun. And it's like you just can't do it all. So it's like, how do you prioritize? And I'm glad to hear though that you're busy with dev work and design work. One of my good friends locally who's a designer, I'll be talking about something that he's cooked up for Game Market West coming up.
Yes.
So lots of exciting stuff. And I think, this just happened recently, but my website, kickinitcreative.com, is up and running. And, when I initially like got the domain and I got something up thanks to the help of my guitarist from the band that I met my partner Matt in back in the day, John, I was like, he's like kind of a web UI guy, and he's always been good at graphic design. So when I was thinking about like, what do I want my website to look like? It was like, hey, John, how's it going? And he's into games too, which is cool. But I asked him, I was just like, what is the cool look or whatever? And he ended up actually using ChatGPT in an hour and like kind of coded something as a placeholder for me. And then like I took that and I worked with my friend Nate, who helped me tweak that. But then now that I have a logo and everything and art and like a color scheme to Kicking It Creative, I did another round of updates with the help of my good friend Nate. So I just wanted to shout out Nate. Thank you again so much for Nate.
Nate.
I don't know why, but it was important to me to have a landing place for people if they're looking for Kicking It Creative to see what I'm doing, to like look a little more like me. Now, it's not perfect yet. It's not perfect, but it's better. So anyways, check that out when you get a chance, everyone.
What's the URL again?
kickingitcreative.com.
That's so good.
And be sure not to put a G on kicking.
Oh, right.
We are not kicking anything. We're kicking it. Kicking it creative. Yeah. And I also have merch up on there too. So, you know, I just showed you my like little
mug.
One of my coffee mugs.
So good. I love the aesthetic and and like the little bit in the A for the hole in the A.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I really am going to make a video at some point and share with people the madness of getting to where the logo ended up. Everything, like my little vision board. I just showed you because anyways, awesome. That's something for another day. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about some of the games we played at TJ Trick Taking Gathering in Cincinnati in January that we were both attendees of. And also, we're going to be trying to talk about some like thematic trick-taking games, because it's like trick-taking games in this renaissance over the past however many years are getting more and more creative, more and more innovative. And I feel like it's really fun to see the ones that really like kind of hone into the theme as much as you can with a deck of cards, you know?
Yeah. It's really blown me away. Like even the past few years, it's outstanding to me. And I think what was fun making this list was I tried to keep myself to the last year or two. Because there are so many great thematic trick-taking games older than that. But I thought it'd be fun to have like where are they now? Like a VH1 and like a lot of fun recent hits.
I love that. Yeah, and I was thinking about that too. I was like, you play so many games. I'm always curious to know, like, okay, what are your favorites at the moment? But like, yeah, they're new ones, they're old ones. Like, what do you focus on? And I don't really know where I was going with that, but I'm happy to talk to you about this.
I agree, yeah, because there's kind of a cult of the new, like always in board games, so it's tough to balance that. But with trick taking specifically, the genre is so old that there will be ones from the 60s, one from 1860s, you know, like just like old ones that you're like, oh, that's cool. So it's tough to balance, but I think it's always fun to see.
Yeah. Well, before we start talking about trick-taking games that are thematic and also like some of the other games we were playing in Cincinnati together, I'd love to hear what you've been playing lately, Taylor. So let's jump into fresh plays.
Yeah, so I've been getting super into the Codenames app, which is by CGE, and Codenames is designed by Vladish Vadal. But I think specifically in the app, they have all these different modes. And if you're familiar with Codenames, it's that classic team versus team game where you're given a clue, you try to get your partner to guess what you're hinting at. But in the app, they have so many different fun ways to twist. Like there's one of them where all of your clues are reflected in some way, like they're a mirror of each other, like either horizontally or vertically or whatever that is.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. What it essentially does is like it gives you some deduction to the game, which is really fun. And then sometimes you have like fun little gadgets, like a rewind. Like if you click the assassin, you can just like rewind. You're like, ooh. But the one I want to shout out, just so much fun, is Minesweeper, where if you contact a tile, whether it's yours or an opponent's or one of the bystanders or whatever, it will tell you how many of your own what are they called? Clues or people? Agents, I think they're what they're called.
Agents.
Agents.
Yeah, that sounds right.
They're surrounding that, like those 8 tiles from the one you just touched or clicked or whatever. And so it gives you this really cool deduction on top of Codenames. And I've played like hundreds of games of it. I've made these friends on this Codenames app that we have like this rapport now in this, and I don't know who these people are.
I was gonna ask, like, who are you playing with? Like, is it against like a bot or like real people?
It's real people, and it's super wild because, like, I don't know if you've ever had this, and it almost feels like maybe like back in the day pen pals or something. But this idea of like random strangers that you just hang out with a lot, and you don't really know their name or who they are, and it's just like weird camaraderie, and you're just like, these are cool people.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, in the app, I want to like be like, hey, here's my email if we ever, if you ever lose your app or your phone, or I don't know.
That's cool. That's cool. Making friends through online gaming. I love it.
Totally. So that's my first. Yeah, that's my first game. Is I've been playing a lot of Codenames Mines. Codenames App is great. Check it out.
Cool. I haven't played Codenames in a while, and I haven't dabbled in the app, but you're definitely making me want to like check it out a bit.
Yeah.
Do you like all of the Codenames? Like, have you played the duet version?
I played the duet a little bit, and I thought I was going to love it. I didn't love it too terribly much. There's something in in the duet where like your, what is that called, screen, or like your answer key or whatever, it could show you that something is green, but on theirs it could be a bystander, and there's like this weird like double logic, which I think is interesting, but I think it just never really worked with my brain for whatever reason. So duet kind of fell flat to me, but my friends really like pictures, so that was a fun one.
Cool. I have not. I think I've only tried duet and like the base Codenames, because I think I hit a point with it early on where, well, not that early on, but like where I didn't love the downtime when the people are like that part. And, some other party games have come out since that kind of don't do that. But like, I know it's like a really like brilliant design. And so I need to bounce back to it at some point, especially now that there are all these like different versions.
Yeah, the app specifically, since it's asynchronous, you can like guess your clue or like give your clue and like then just leave, and there's like no downtime. So it's really, really nice. But I'm with you. Yeah, like games like So Clover fix that whole downtime issue.
Yeah. And okay, last question about you how many people are you playing with when you play like Codenames? Not like what's your squad like?
Yeah, it's super interesting. So they limit the games to 2 versus 2, and so it's very streamlined. But I have like a gaggle of like 50 different people who are like obsessed with Minesweeper, and I'm sure you find this with war games that I have not dabbled in. But have you ever found like people who love war games as much as you love war games, and you like have this like, hey, like I don't feel bad wanting to play like a hours long session of like, you're like, sometimes like guilt maybe if you really like something more than the other people that are at the table. And
yes, I know what you mean. Yep.
Yeah. So it's fun to be like, oh, you're as obsessed with this weird version of Codenames as I am. And so like I don't like when I make like 10 games that we're all playing async, and then like we finish them, and then they make 10 games, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not.
It's not just me.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Awesome. Codenames Mines. All right. Well, the first game that I'll bring up is kind of a double header, and I'm just going to say this because I don't know if anyone out there is also just a great Greek gamer. And I don't mean that I'm not a great Greek gamer, but I'm great at geek. Wait, I can't say it. I'm great at Greek games. Okay, there we go. This is something new I discovered about myself about a week ago. So first of all, I have a prototype of For the Gods, which is an upcoming release from Trevor Benjamin and David Thompson and Brett, is it Gilbert, I think? But it's a release from Mighty Boards. And when I met with Evelyn at Mighty Boards during Essen, she's like, hey, do you want to like check this game out? I have another prototype copy. And when she said the names on the designers, I was like, heck yeah. So I'm actually going to be like putting out a video for their crowdfunding campaign that's coming up for for the gods. But because I was working on the video, I wanted to like play the game a few times so I could make the video. And playing the game, I've won every single, I ended up playing it 3 times at all 3 player counts, 2, 3, and 4. And I won every time. So I'm like, holy cow. But it's not even just that, because then by accident, the first time we were playing, my friend Chris was over and he wanted to play the new Fantasy Realms Greek Legends, which WizKids like sent me a copy of. It was just something that like randomly showed up on my doorstep one day. And I love Fantasy Realms anyway, but I don't think I've played all of them. But anyways, so then we played Fantasy Realms, which I'm not really usually like good at. Like, I don't know if I've ever won that game. But guess who won Greek Legends Fantasy Realms? Me. So anyway, so I've now kind of like added that as to my resume that I'm great at Greek games.
Yeah,
but
you're Greek Gaming God. Yeah.
Yes, I'm a Greek Gaming Goddess. Ooh.
Yes.
That is it. That is it. Okay, yes. Cool. I have just leveled up. But all jokes aside, for the gods, I had a really like cool experience with, because it's this very clean design, an area control game that has such a cool table presence as you play, because you're like sailing a boat around to these different harbors and building temples. And I don't know what the like finished product is going to look like, but with the prototype, you have these plastic like circular stones that stack. And then it has these like 12 unique god cards that each have their own powers. So you're like racing to get to the island so you can grab one of the stones so you can eventually dedicate a temple to the gods. And you have a bag and you're fiddling your hand around this bag to draw these tiles or these like little stones behind your screen. And then when it's your turn, you're moving your boat, and you don't have to, movement is optional. And then you're either establishing a new temple on like one of the regions of one of the 5 islands, or you're like elevating one of the ones you already have. And whenever you do draw one of those like god stones, you can put it on the top of one of your temples, and then you trigger that god's ability. And all the gods have different abilities, which are cool. But what I really like about it is that it is so fast. It's easy to teach. It's easy to play. There's a lot of strategy because you randomly put out these scoring tiles because you're competing to have the most glory. Each region has like either just 1 gold glory token, or it'll have a glory token and maybe a silver one, or a gold and a copper one, which is only worth 3, and the silver's worth 6. So there's so much to compete over, like trying to race to get the god stones, because only the first 2 people who build temples in a given area will be able to take one of those god stones. But then the game just flows so quickly, because it's like at the end of your turn, you put any stones you didn't use back in your bag, shake it up, draw, and then you're like planning your next turn. Next person goes, and it flows fast. And then there's this whole thing of you don't know when the game's going to end, but it's going to end fast because everybody's building at different rates. And one thing I'll mention about it that is very important, when you're building each of these stones, you start the game with 24 of them. You have 6 copies of a rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, and rank 4. And when you make a temple, all of the stones have to be the same rank. So if I only have 6 copies of like my highest rank stone, and I start building a temple with just 2 of them somewhere, those 2 aren't going to be available for me to like stack up, somewhere else with the rest of my, top tier level, because the way the regions score is whoever's temple is tallest, and the tiebreaker is the rank. So if you and I both had like built temples somewhere that are both 4 stones tall, whoever has the higher rank is going to break the tie. And if we are still tied there, then nobody scores any glory from that region. So it's just a very, like, I am such a big fan of David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin as as a designer duo, and I'm pretty sure like Trevor has worked with Brett on other small games. I'm just gonna quickly look it up because I will kick myself later if I don't shout out. I'll kick myself creative if I don't. I love that. Okay, Trevor Benjamin. He has done, I think it is Mandala is the one.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Trevor and Brett co-designed Mandala, which is like a fantastic little beautiful 2-player game. Yeah. And I think some other stuff. But it's like, to me, this is when more the music part of my brain fuses in, because I think about like, I think about a band I love. Like, let's take like Radiohead or something. Like, all of those musicians are so good. And when they then go and partner with other good musicians, you know, sometimes it's okay, but like other times it's like really good. And so it's just great to see that these guys are like kind of like collaborating and kicking butt. And yeah, I'm excited to make the video so I can like actually like show off more and talk a bit more about it. But I'm undefeated. So yes, factor that in to my bias here. And then the Greek Legends Fantasy Realms is cool. If I don't know if you played Fantasy Realms before, Taylor.
Yeah, I have. I really liked it. I never played like a remix, that like
Marvel, the Marvel one,
Star Trek one. I didn't do those, but Fantasy Realms and the expansion I've played, and they're both great. I love Fantasy Realms. It's such a fun feeling.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's a game where you have a hand of like 7 cards, and on your turn, you're either going to draw one from the top of the deck or draw one from the face-up discard pile, and then at the end of your hand, you discard one of the cards. So you're always going to end the game with 7 cards, and the timing of when it ends is always interesting because, like, if people are drawing from the discard area, discard display instead of the deck, it'll like extend the game a bit. But if everybody's just drawing from the deck and you're constantly discarding, the game's going to end faster. And you're trying to set up all these combos in your hand. Like, there are so many different ways that the cards score. So the thing that I think is newer about the Greek Legends, besides the fact that all the art is Greek and I'm naturally great at it, is that it has this like afterlife mechanism. So you can like kind of discard cards if you have certain powers into like this afterlife pile, and all of the cards there are by default worth -10 points, but you can do some tricksy things, and also the cards that are in that pile contribute to like your scoring. So if you're scoring a certain type of card and you didn't end with it in your hand, but maybe it's in your like afterlife pile. I really hope it was called Afterlife now that I'm saying it so much. So anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to shout out like For the Gods because I played it a bunch and I really dig it. And everybody I played with really digs it too. And then also Fantasy Realms Greek Legends because it's a new version of Fantasy Realms that I happen to play. And yeah it's cool. It's cool.
It's cool to be like so good at a type of game. And just I mean, but it creates this like tough tightrope as like the next Greek game that comes out. Are you going to feel pressure?
I do. Honestly, I already do. Now that I've said that and recorded it here, that I'm a Greek Gaming Goddess. Is that what it is? Yeah, Greek Gaming Goddess. Yeah. So there might be a tournament for all of us Greek Gaming Goddesses and gods out there.
That'd be so fun to do like a tournament of games based on like theme. That'd be so cool. Greek tournament.
Oh, were you going to say something else?
Oh, I love in Fantasy Realms where, like you were saying, like you can extend the game, you don't know when it's going to end, but like when there's more cards later in the game that are open and that like open up display, players are like taking that more naturally. So it actually like near the end, it kind of almost like seems like it won't end because it's just players are sometimes like mixing and matching so much, but then it like falls off the cliff. So it has like a really fun like almost, like those roller coasters that like hang and like dangle a
Oh, I
little bit,
hate them.
and then they go. That's my bad. I love it. Yeah, that's
Yeah, but
yeah.
that actually makes me remember the other thing with that the
Mhm.
other thing that comes along with that is that you might discard a card. It's always so tough, right? You don't want to discard anything half the time because it's
Mm-mm.
like you can find ways to make all these cards useful and you're
Yeah.
looking for things to like really like amplify them and like really really make them score well. But when you put a card down and you discard it and somebody immediately goes and picks it up and
Yeah,
you're
you're
just
like,
like crap, like you know, you don't want to give people like good
yes,
stuff. Like that's the other thing,
yes.
sometimes you hesitate putting something out even though you can't use it yourself, but just
Oh,
so that nobody else can get it because it's juicy.
that is like such a fun mechanic, and I've seen it, or mechanism or whatever. Like I've seen it in like Lost Cities, maybe, or like Shady
Hmm.
Lady. But like, there's this feeling of like, yeah, your trash is someone else's treasure. Is such a fun mechanic. Yeah. Oh, I love that feeling.
Cool, cool. Well, what else have you been playing? But also I want to hear about Shady Lady a little bit too, because I have my friend Roman told me about it, and a Mr. James Nathan hooked me up with his copy.
Maron, that is so cool. So, Shady Lady is the newest game from the Nana designer or trio, if folks are familiar with
Oh,
that game.
yeah.
A bit of a hot game. I think they also did like cat poker and dog poker, which was like llama llama and panda panda. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, actually,
Taylor, are you
I
just
should.
saying things
I'm
now?
just starting stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Just
We
talking
also
about
did like
animals.
we did Agricola now. Yeah, but anyway. So this designer loves like really fun card games that are like quick and snappy and like kind of a bit of a goof 'em up. But how Shady Lady works is you will always have like 3 cards in your hand, and on your turn you can say like I have the best, like declare like I think I have the best hand, like kind of like a poker hand in a way, at the table. And if you're right, you'll get a point. And you just want like 3 points. Or you can point at someone and go, I think you have a poker hand, like any poker hand. And if you're right,
Wow.
you'll get a point. If you're wrong, that person gets a point. So it's one of those things where like sometimes you want to craft a really strong poker hand, but someone might just like
Interesting.
look at you and be like, hey, you just like crafted like 3 turns in a row. Like you probably have something. And so they'll call you on.
Oh, interesting. Very cool. I can't wait to try it. That sounds fun. I love like games with like mind games too.
Yeah, it's super mind gamesy. It's very much like, how long do I sit on this okay hand, or do I just like go for it slash, because someone might call me out on it. It's pretty fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Well, what else have you been playing?
Yeah. The funny thing about, we were talking about tournaments. So every birthday, me and my good pal Ben, we have birthdays that are near each other, and we'll have like a big extravaganza where we'll combine our birthday. Like this year was the 75th, where we add each other's ages, and
Wait,
we
you're
play.
75? You look good.
Thank
Wow.
you, thank you. I use a lot of hair dye and
It's just the trick taking games, right? The trick taking
yeah,
games are good for skin exfoliation.
that's what like scientists discover, is like shuffling with some weird anti-aging thing. But so we have this fun game night, and we have a bunch of pals over, and we play kind of a tournament of sorts, where you play all these weird party games, and then how well you do sums up, and someone will win an award. And actually, Jonah made a wonderful, uh, yeah, like
Oh,
made like a Meeple award, and that person won that. So that was really fun. But so the game that we played that was a hit, that was really fun, was a recent one that I got at Tokyo Game Market that is called Finger Crane Game Championship. And it is designed by Suki Games, and it just came out. So
okay, okay.
how it works is,
Yes, please tell us.
yeah, yes. So you're gonna have a stack of like those kind of smaller cards, like they're mini Euro, if you're familiar with cards, kind of like in Gloomhaven, those like attack modifier cards, but kind of like these tiny cards. And you're
Yeah.
gonna stack them up. And how it works is, on your turn, one person's going to be the crane. And if you're familiar with like, what are those like claw games? Like in
Yeah,
arcades.
yeah, like the machine where you're trying to grab something, you put all this money in, and then it like you're like, oh, I'm gonna get that teddy bear, and then nope,
Yes.
misses. Everything misses.
It's
Yes.
essentially that one player is a claw machine, and on your turn, you're going to flip one of the cards. So the cards are both what you're grabbing, but also like what is going to tell you how to grab and how much to grab. So you can flip it. It's going to tell you a number, and that is the number you have to hit exactly. You can go under for less points, but you do want to hit it. And it's also going to tell you which fingers you cannot use. So like one card will say like 6, and then it will show like you can't use your pointer finger and your ring finger. So it's like you're doing this. And so then you close your eyes, you hover your hand over the stack. And this is the juice of the game, is before you go, everyone else is watching. They have in their hand, they have 3 cards that say you're going to take too few cards, too many cards, or just right. And they'll put it down. And once everyone's put one down, they'll reveal, and they won't say anything, but everyone can look around and see what they voted. And so some people might think you're going to go too low. Some people might think you're going to go too high, but you don't know that because your eyes are closed. And then on like, 1, 2, 3, go, you're going to reach down and people are going to be like, take more, take more, take more, or take less, take less, take less. But you don't know if someone's like helping you or like hurting you. It kind of feels like When I Dream, if you're familiar with that older party game where someone would put on like a little mask and like
No.
helping you, hurting you. Or anyway, so you reach down and you have to get that many. So like if it was 10, right, you have to get 10 cards and you can feel them. But like once you kind of pinch them and lift up, you're like a claw. You're like, that's kind of your vibe. But you can't like feel them. You can kind of readjust. I don't know how much you can readjust. It's it's translated rules, so we're not quite sure. But like we always have it to where like if you're kind of like a claw, or like in those machines, like you grab and you kind of just lift.
Yes.
But then if you pull them up and if you get exactly right, you get like a jackpot. If you get less, you get like the difference. There's a little bit of math. But anyway, people who guess right will also get points. And so you just play around the table and it's so much fun. Such a fun party game. It's, I think, one of those like, I'm always looking for like new ways to do dexterity.
Yeah.
I think dexterity is this, how do I say this? Like limitless kind of genre where there's just so many things humans can do. Like Igloo Pop, where it's just about like listening to stuff, or like, Jenga is a classic example. But like this is like a fresh one to me. That was really, really fun. So Finger Crane Game Championship.
Okay, so that's so awesome. But guess what? I played this.
Oh, yes.
like when you said the title, I'm like, this sounds wild and crazy. And the reason I didn't know what it was called is because I think is the box like when I on my logged play, it's all in like Japanese. Yeah, so I didn't even know what it was called. But the minute you started saying, "Oh yeah, your hand's gonna be a crane and you're picking up the cards," yes, so cool. And another thing too, just on top of that dexterity, like 2 years ago when I went to, I guess it was T8 maybe. Mm-hmm. We were out in Cincinnati. I think that was the first time I played Drill Polter or whatever, that Oink game. Yes. So I'm always like getting there's some fun dexterity games. But games
I mean, he also had that balloon game if you played that.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't. I watched some people play it's a jousting game with balloons, but like I get like so triggered by balloons for some reason, which the popping, like whenever I see a kid, like a cute, even no matter how cute the kid is, just like running around rubbing a balloon on stuff, I'm like flinching, like when is it gonna pop? Totally. So I was like, oh, this kind of game is not for me, but I appreciate that it exists.
Right, totally. I think he finds those like, dexterity adjacent or like whatever.
Is that the same designer or same company that did the jousting?
Oh no, just in my mind is just weird games that James has.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah. So Finger Crane, totally.
I really did love that dynamic of number one, like the limitation on like which fingers you can use, and how people are incentivized to say, oh no, you got it. It's just right. And then the other people are like, no, you need more. And everybody's like kind of like selfishly like directing you to be the claw. It's kind of brilliant, actually.
Yeah, like it's cool that it keeps them engaged. Like there's something, I mean, we talk about downtime with Codenames. Like there's something in party games sometimes where someone's just doing something. You're like, okay, you're doing something this round. But that one is fun.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, no. Yeah, that's my pick.
Super fun. And I'm glad that I now know it's called Finger Crane Game Championship.
Right, because then you can find it on BGG. Because now, it does have a page, I think.
Sweet. Oh, that's a good one. I'm glad you brought it up because I almost like totally forgot that I played it because, again, in my log from that trip, it's just a lot of Japanese letters. And I was like, I don't know what this is. I played something.
Totally.
Which is not uncharacteristic when I go to this gaming event, you know?
Right.
Playing a lot of like rare stuff. Imports.
People pull you in and play like a 10-minute game, and then they'll be like, later. And so, yeah. It's very much like that vibe.
Okay. All right. So my next fresh play is a little more complex than that one, I would say, but it also starts with the letter F. It is Fire in the Lake, which is a lot of people's, well, it's a Vietnam War coin game from GMT Games, and it's one that I've been wanting to play forever. And I know I say coin games a lot, but it is a series from GMT that is focused on all these different counterinsurgency, mostly like real world historical situations where you have asymmetric factions and each player is going to represent one of them, and you have your own like victory conditions, you have your own, you know, way that your faction plays, but there's always some level of like kind of forming alliances and some like diplomacy in there. And to prep for this game, I've been like rewatching the Ken Burns Vietnam War documentary, which is
Nice.
it's so fascinating, so well done. And I'm not done because I underestimated how long it was when by the time I realized I was going to start rewatching it, it's like 8 episodes that are like movie length. So yeah, so I didn't quite get there, but I definitely am going to want to keep this game on rotation. So we played the medium scenario for this game. So it has like a short, medium, and long. And I think if you look on BGG for reviews, like most people love the long scenario because you really like feel the whole conflict and everything. And I could get that already because we played the medium and it was perfect because none of us had ever played it. We all had some coin game experience, but it is complicated and the faction interplay is so fascinating because this one, more so than other coin games, I felt like it was like a team game at moments where I was playing as the US, one of the counterinsurgency factions, and my friend Aaron is playing as Arvin, which is another counterinsurgency faction. That's really funny because I recently played Arkwright too, so I guess I have factories on my mind. Yeah. But the other 2 players are playing the insurgent factions. One is the North Vietnamese Army, the NVA, and then the other is the VC, the Viet Cong. And often in the game, it feels like I'm working with the Arvin player because we are both trying to like take care of the like insurgents, more or less. Mm-hmm. But I have my own motivations too because I want to help, but then I want to bring my boys back home. So like my victory condition as the US is I need to have people in my quote unquote available box, meaning they are no longer in Vietnam, like fighting and everything, but I need to help a little bit. So there was like this cool timing, which of course I'm like have no clue about because I can understand how to play coin games from a rules perspective, but strategy is so complex. You really like these are games you really need to play multiple times if you really want to get the most out of it. So our game was just like bumpy strategically, but I immediately like started reading the playbook, and in the playbook, which is kind of like it's an example of play, but then every event card in the game, there's like background information. And when I looked at that, I was like kind of kicking myself that we weren't referring to that as we resolve these events. But I'm not going to go like too far into it because I want to play this one more before I like talk about it more in depth. But I did just want to say that I really, really, really enjoyed it. And I'm really looking forward to playing the long scenario once I like kind of understand everything a little bit better. And I was trying to like tell the others that I was playing with too that like I really think when you go into playing, you know, obviously you could think whatever you want when you play a game, but like when you go into playing a game like this, if you are playing with all people who have never played it, we're all going to be playing suboptimally, if not just poorly. And so you're really not seeing what the design has to offer until people know what they're doing. And then I think it's just going to be a more rich experience. Like the more I play this one with people who also have been playing it a bit. And yeah, so I'm really stoked to explore it more. And it's been a game that I've had since 2020 and I just played for the first time. So Fire in the Lake, I'm a fan. And I should say also that it's designed by Mark Herman and Volko Ruhnke, because Mark Herman in the wargame world and Volko, actually both of them are like wargame gods kind of. All right, I won't call them gods, but like they're just like very esteemed designers that have been so innovative over the past however many years with war games they're designing and how they approach handling these historical conflict simulations and stuff like that. So that's another like powerful design duo that they worked on this one together. So yeah, you'll hear more from me on Fire in the Lake and all of the coin series gradually throughout the year. But I was like, that game is still just like tingling in my brain from Sunday, and I like really cannot wait to try it again.
That's really cool. Is it like tennis where it's more like if you play with a bunch of folks who haven't really played, you get this like growing, you can get better as together as a group. And like
yes,
you technically have someone who's really good at tennis, you're like, well, there's like this weird stutter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. Like if this group of us, the four of us, played this in a month again, it would be way different just getting through that. And it kind of like you see that as we play the game too. So the game, you have this like event deck of 36 cards.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it's more than 36 because there are 36 events, and then shuffled in each stack of 12, there's a special scoring card. And in this particular one, it's a coup card. And you don't know exactly when that's going to pop up, but like lots of things happen. And really, if you're playing a coin game for the first time, like when you go through the steps of resolving that phase, it gives you so much more clarity on, hey, like this is what I need to now be focusing on. I didn't really like understand before, but now that you see like, oh, the MVA just got a lot of resources because I didn't take care of this situation. So let me fix that next time. And also thematically, the MVA faction has the Ho Chi Minh Trail. And this trail track, I was trying to, as the US, try to keep it low, because the higher it was, my friend Steven was able to just like get all of these units, these soldiers, these guerrillas down into South Vietnam to create mayhem for us. But he could move them so fast because of the trail was built up well, and you know, historically that was a big part of it. So it's cool to see how that's like represented in the game as well. You catch all that?
Yeah. I'm getting like Italians need more water to cook pasta campaigns in North Africa levels of like, oh yeah.
Have you ever played Root?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've played Root. I think that's one. I feel like I've played another coin game, but it's one of those like you're saying, like if you know the event deck or like if you know what can happen, you just get better inherently. Like,
yes. Yeah. And Root is not like a coin game, but it was heavily inspired by Andy and Abyss, the very first coin game. So I always ask like if and then also like now that like GMT has the ICS series, so you might have tried like a Jest of Robin Hood. And if not, I highly recommend it because it's very thematic and it's coin light. So you get like the coin game flow, but in a much more accessible, and it's a really, really cool game with like great art. Another thing I'll probably make a video on at some point.
Fred Serval or my
yes. Yeah, Fred.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I've wanted to. We played Barracks Emperor together. And it was a good time. And I was like, oh, nice.
You and also, Fred? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You did it on his channel. That's right. I've seen that video a bunch.
Oh, nice.
Like not watched it all the way through, but like it's popping up in my YouTube feed a bunch. And I was like, that's cool. That was a cool pairing.
Yeah, and I did play a very civil Whist by him. So I've dabbled, but I do want
Yes.
to try that one because I've heard a lot of good things about it. I think the only GMT game I've ever played is that. Is it Pacific Typhoon? What's that? It's like they have a trick taking game that's like wild.
They have Barracks and the other one that you might have played is the Knizia one, the popular.
It's called Pacific Typhoon by John Cousis and Ben Knight. It's by GMT Games. It's like a trick taking
What?
GMT
I don't
game.
even know what this is. Pacific.
Yeah, it's from like 17 years ago, 18 years ago.
Whoa.
It is wild, yeah. Not to sorry, go off on a huge rabbit hole, but it is like wowzing.
Oh, now I need to look. Oh, I think I have seen this at some point.
It's a wild game.
Oh, and now I need to find a copy. Dang. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot of like, there's like team-based stuff. There's like rolling dice. There's like, it's like trick taking in partnerships sometimes. Like it's wild.
Very cool. Okay, sorry. Pause for one second. No, yeah. I'm for sure just ordering it from someone. $20. This happens sometimes. This happens. I'm not proud of it, but I have to.
It's very like, it's one of the first times, I think it's one of the first, maybe it was the first GMT game I played, but it has this level of intricate historical detail that is probably maybe a commonplace for a lot of GMT games, and I'm just not familiar with it. But it was wild. Yeah, there's a lot of like specific names of planes and carriers and how they obviously fought, and so they know which ones destroyed which ones, and there's like historical significance as well.
So cool. Yeah, I don't remember when this kind of fell on my radar, but thank you for putting it back.
Yeah.
Have you played Battle Line before?
Yeah, that the Knizia one. Yeah. So I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Not that it's a trick taking game, but just it's another GMT game that's like more mass market, like more people have played.
I think that's the other one I've played. Yeah.
And Barracks now.
Yes. That's right.
Okay.
And
all right.
I played Dominant Species and
oh yeah. Any of the racing games?
No, I played a little bit of Twilight Struggle. I think we played like a few rounds. Oh, I played Dominant Species Marine a lot, actually.
Yeah. You're just like a GMT regular.
Wow. Yeah, actually, a bunch of people are like, oh, man, I fit for the people, and I've played 18 to 15. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So anyway, thanks for getting me to buy another game, Taylor. Yes. Cool. Well, let's get into some of the games that we played at T-Pound TJ, and also some thematic trick-taking games.
Yes. I'm so excited.
So I was thinking one of the things that we could talk about is the fact that we played, let's see, I'm going to do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games of Take Time.
Yes. It was a hoot. My goodness. I know we'll get into it, but so much fun.
Yes. And Take Time is a cooperative game designed by Alexei Piovesin and Julien Prothier, published by Libellude, and it came out, I think, at Gen Con 2025. But this is a 2 to 4 player cooperative game where you are trying to work together with whoever's playing to strategically play 12 cards face down around a clock, and the rules change. And so, like, what did this game has like 10 envelopes that have multiple, like 4 scenarios within each envelope, and the complexity and rules kind of ramp up and change as you play through them. And which is why we thought we were going to get through all 40. But it turns out we didn't have that much time to take to play it. So we only got 14 games in. Well, what did you think of it?
I really, really liked it. It was one of those, it scratches that itch of, it's funny to go from like GMT games to this, but it has like these super simple baseline rules that just can be iterated on over and over and get harder, different, weirder. And I am a sicko for obviously like Lord of the Rings trick taking game and The Mind and Bombbusters and The Crew. And I feel like this is just, again, another one of those like awesome campaign, I guess, scenario based, like move
co-op
through
deduction,
co-op.
yeah, all that stuff.
It just sang. Yeah, I absolutely loved it.
It has art by Maud Schammel, who also did the art of Shamans. Shout out to that trick taking game. But the table presence is just like really nice. Like there are a lot of like gold accents on everything, and I feel like you're right. Like think about Bombbusters, like the cooperative deduction nature of it. Like so everybody's placing cards face down, right? But you do get a couple cheats each round, and if you fail a level, then you get like more cards that you're allowed to play face up. But it's like, who's gonna play the card face up? I think we had like only like 3 cards in hand or something like that in a 4-player game, or did we have 4?
Yeah, it's 3 just because you deal out 12 cards.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
And then no. I only realized it when I went home after TJ and I showed some friends and we played 3-player and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like,
different. Yeah.
Cards, 12 hours in a day. Like there's 24 cards in the deck, which is like 12 hours morning, 12 hours night. So like there's all this, 12,
right,
motif or like repeating presence of the number 12, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that there's an interesting debate on quarterbacking and whether that is a problem to solve or not. And I agree with, I think, folks who say it's more of like a player problem and less of a game problem. But it is fun when a game allows players to silently make decisions of like, should I play face up or not? And that's a very personal choice in a team game, but it's a very team-based resources. Like it's a pool that we can all use.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. Like I totally love that element. And like you're saying, like the more you lose, the more of that pool.
You feel terrible about yourself?
Yeah, I feel terrible. Coming like on a weird tangent from like helping develop the Lord of the Rings trick taking games is we are always wondering like how do players feel when they retry something? And I think in a trick taking game, sometimes you're like, oh, maybe the deal of the cards might go our way or something. And this one's interesting in that it both does the deal differently and you get like a bonus every time. So it's definitely like a fail forward system.
Yeah. Another thing is, like you mentioned, the deck of cards has 24 cards. Half of them have a white back and half of them have like a navy blue back. Is it?
So yeah.
Because I think somebody was saying black or something, and I was correcting them all the time.
Right. I think it's meant to be like morning and night or something, right?
That actually makes a lot of sense. Actually.
Yeah.
So there are like 12 cards that have a light color background and 12 that have a nighttime color background. And there are some rules when we're into game mode where you can only put blue cards at a certain time slot. And maybe like, I don't know if any of this is sounding confusing, so I'll just like dial it back for 1 second and say, there is a clock.
Yeah.
Back to the future, baby. There is a clock on the board. So each of these envelopes has 4 different clocks. And you'll put the clock on the table, and that's where you'll see like, okay, are there rules for like the 5 p.m. slot? I don't know why I said p.m. The 5 o'clock slot or the, the 10 o'clock slot, whatever. The rules are on the clock, and you'll shuffle all 24 cards, deal 12 out to the group. And before anyone looks at it, we can talk strategy. And before anyone looks at their cards, we can talk strategy. And so sometimes, we were like, hey, let's make sure the first 4 slots don't put any like high cards there. and like, oh, you're trying to come up with like some tips before you start, because once you look at your cards, no one can talk anymore. But the challenge is there's a deck of 24 cards and we have 12. So we don't know if we have all the low cards. Like, does anyone have any high cards? And as we put cards, by the end of the round, after we've placed all our cards, the sum of the value of the cards in each slot need to go up. And I think one of the rules was like that the midnight slot can't be more than 24. So there's so many like constraints, and it feels very satisfying like when we did lock in and nail it. And I don't know, I like this one.
Yeah, I think it has a fun amount of like, something's hard, something's different, something's easier, something's newer. Like it didn't ramp too crazy, and it felt fresh. And like you're saying, that art is so wild. It is a gorgeous game. Like every new package or whatever, every new like chapter or like section of chapters is like a theme of like water or like sky or cloud, and it's gorgeous. My gosh.
Yeah. And I think Bomb Busters is a good kind of like, I'm trying to think like what cooperative game might this feel like. And I think because it has some of that deduction, and you have scenarios like you're saying with like the crew and Lord of the Rings trick taking games and everything, I like that you have all these different ways you can play, and you're not like playing a campaign. Sure, you can play it like that. Like you can say, hey, one group's going to sit down and we're going to, work our way through all 40 tests that the game gives you, but you don't have to. You could just be like, let's open a pack and play, which is really cool. So if you're into cooperative games and or deduction and or just pretty looking games, I would say take a look at Take Time.
Yeah, pretty looking for sure. It's gorgeous. Yeah. But yeah, I loved it. And I thought it was a great time.
Cool. All right, let's talk about some like thematic games, and we can just like mix in other stuff we played.
Yeah.
Specifically in Cincinnati, but thematic games don't have to be tied to Cincinnati, of course. But what's one that you have played recently or discovered that feels thematic and what it's doing?
I have a kind of like a double bill, but it'll make sense with the notion of theme. So recently at Tokyo Game Market and Essen, there was a release of these two games that are based on the idea of a kind of like a haunted elevator. And so the two games are Ghost Lift and Yonkai no Yokai. So Ghost Lift is designed by One Gear and with art by Saipepu, which is funny because the other game, Yonkai no Yokai, is designed by Daniel Newman and also has art by Saipepu. So it's funny that it's like the same artist.
Yeah.
Same game. And get this, it's that they're both climbing shedding games. So same mechanic.
Wow.
And yeah, the funny thing in both of them is that like you're on an elevator, I guess, of sorts, and the elevator is going to go up and down. And if you're familiar with climbing shedding games, you want to get rid of your cards, but usually the word climbing there means that you have to play higher. But in this game, it's like sometimes you want to play lower, sometimes you want to play higher, and it depends on kind of where the elevator is going. I like Yonkai no Yokai a bit more because I think not only is the gameplay better, but I think the kind of the theme is it stands out a little bit more. So in Ghost Lift, the theme is kind of similar theme. It's like a haunted elevator, and if you end the round and someone else is shut out, you look at like the numbers in your hand, and if you have like 8 5s and like a 3, you're going to get like a 5 and a 3 ghost in front of you, and you just don't want to get haunted a bunch. If you get haunted a bunch, you lose, just like in real life. But the theme on Yonkai no Yokai is you're in an elevator, but it's like physically represented by this like elevator box moving up and down, and wherever the box is touching is what you can play. So for example, at the start of the game, it starts on the base floor and it's all like singles pretty much. Like you can play a single card, but then as it goes higher and higher up on the floors, you can start playing pairs or like 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind. And what's cool is like you will be going up and down this elevator in Yonkai no Yokai where you can try to time stronger melds at certain times or lower melds at other times. It's kind of like Onda, climbing shedding game. That one's the theme was like the waves of the ocean coming in and out, and similar idea. Like you want to know when to play your weak, when to play your high, but they're both I mean, theoretically good. Sometimes you can definitely get stuck in these games where like the elevator is at the top, you just have like 2 or 1 card and you're like, please let me go down to the basement.
Yeah.
Feels thematic. You're like, I just want to get off this ride. It's like,
yes.
yeah, get me off of Mr. Bones Wild Ride. But anyway, the theme here of just like this elevator, this haunted elevator that's going up and down, and you just want to like kind of get off is super fun. So that's my pick, or picks, I guess. Yonkai no Yokai and Ghost Left.
Yeah, cool. I don't know how I miss Yonkai no Yokai, but looking at it now, I really like the artwork.
Yeah, Sai is
just brilliant.
What's wild is like Sai did the artwork for Shady Lady and Finger Game Crane Championship, or oh my gosh. But like just so many games are just like, oh, Sai did this, Sai did this, Sai did that. And
yeah.
And amazing. And she does all the Tiny Box All Play, or the All Play Tiny Box line. She does all those. If anyone's
so cool.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to try this one because I actually have played Ghost Lift. I played that one once when I was in Essen. Someone had a copy. One of my favorite things about it was that that color green on the card. Like that's like such a good shade of green. So I had like a bias to like that game. Yes. And I probably told you this before. Like I'm not as excited about climbing shedding games as much as like trick taking games. I thought Ghost Lift was fun, and I think I played it a couple times actually. I love that you had those little like ghost tokens that when you end the round and you are stuck with cards in your hand, you have to flip over. Do you have to flip over a ghost for each type that you hit?
Yeah, so you'll take one for each number that you have in your hand at the end, and then if you already have that number, you'll flip it and you get like mega haunted or something, or bloody. You get like a bloody ghost haunted. And then if you have, I think, I'm trying to remember the rules off the top of my head, but I think it's like if you have 3 bloody ghosts or something, you'll lose. Or if you have one of every number, I think you'll lose. But they're so green, they're so vivid. And even Sai, I ran into her at Essen and we hung out a bit, and she painted her nails like that same color green with like little ghosts. And it was like so great. It's such a great color game. Yeah, I agree with you.
Cool. Okay, great picks. So the first one that I'm going to mention has a less scary theme to it and feel. And it is a game that I actually just played for the first time yesterday, even though I brought it with me to Cincinnati to try it. But it's called Peanuts Talent Show. And this is a new game from Simon, which was and I got a review copy of this, or complimentary copy from Simon. But it was pitched to me as like baby's first trick-taking game mixed with baby's first deck-building game, because it has some elements that if you've never experimented with those mechanisms, where you'll like it's a good jumping off point. But I played it with my friends Shu and Christina, and we're all like, we're game savvy, we're trick-taking game savvy. And so it's funny, like there's this main board that you play with, and it's double-sided, and the rules, again, because it's like baby's first trick-taking, baby's first deck building, the rules say like, if it's your first game, you should play on the Woodstock side of this board. After you've played a few times, put on the Snoopy side. And of course we're like, well, what's on the Snoopy side? Let's see. And we're like, let's just play with that. And I'm glad we did. And I think like if you, unless it's your like very first game, or you're playing with someone who's like very new to games, or like, the Snoopy side is more fun because it just adds some extra goodies along the scoring track, which really was cool. So let me tell you how this works. Everybody starts with a deck of cards numbered 1 through 5. And this is a game that the suit does not matter of the card, only the value does. So you shuffle your small deck of 5 cards, and you're going to draw 3 cards. Then whoever's the first player is going to lead by playing a card. And I guess like the only reason this is considered trick taking is because you're playing, everybody plays a card, and then somebody wins the round, more or less. But you play a card, and whoever plays the highest card is going to be the winner of the trick. If there's a tie, then the later played card of the highest tie value is going to be the winner of the trick. The winner gets to either advance on the victory point track a number of spaces equal to the value of the card they played, or they can not do that and instead cull a card from their discard pile. Trash it. So it's out of the game. Don't really put it in the trash can, though. Just like set it aside. It's not part of your deck anymore. So that's what the winner can do. The people who didn't win the trick are going to gain coins equal to the value of their card. Also, the person who wins is going to get the Snoopy token to say that they're going to lead the next round or the next card play. But then the other players, starting with the player to the left of whoever has the Snoopy, the one who won, you get an opportunity to either buy a card from this market that's around the board, or you can spend coins to advance one space on the victory point track. Like it's like 5 coins or something like that. And the cards that you're shopping from, on the high side, there are 2 20 value cards, which is like, whoa, but they're very expensive. And then on the low side, you have a card that's a 1 value, but it has a little bonus that, like, whenever you play that, you reveal, like, you also just draw a card from the top of your deck and you add it to that to make your score. So it's very, very simple. Initially, when we were playing, we were just like, okay, you know. And the other thing that's quirky about it to me, or like, you know, for some reason, we all had this instinct that after we play a card and resolve the trick, we wanted to like draw another card, but you don't draw until you've played all 3 cards, and then you draw. And when you run out of cards, then you shuffle your deck, and then hopefully you have new cooler cards. And then, but you're going to keep doing this cycle till somebody ends the game with 50 points. But we found this by as soon as we did that initial shuffle and different people have different cards, like the game just kind of like opened up to us strategically, because it's like, number one, you are racing to get these cards for your deck. And because they're limited, like some, like the 6s, I don't know, maybe there are 4 copies of them. When they're gone, they're gone. Like I said, there are only 2 copies of the 20, which is powerful. There are also, I think, maybe 3 copies of the number 9. And the 20 and the 9, because they are I guess there was a 10 too also. But the 20 and the 9, whenever you play them, they're powerful, but you have to trash them. So they're out of the game. So if you get a 20, you're only going to be able to use it once, but you're like almost guaranteed to win unless someone else also has a 20 and plays it after you on the same round, which I think would be like really rare. As we were playing, it became like so interesting, because it's like, okay, maybe the first player plays a 3 and you're looking at your hand and you're like, okay, I can beat that with this card, but like I really want to win with this card, and I don't know what the other player has, because I played a 3-player game. And we had so many moments where 2 people would play the same number and tie. We had so many moments where we were like laughing because we played the 1, and then that whole like, oh, we get to like reveal and play a card from the top of our deck with it. And sometimes it would be something like Bobo, like a 2. And then you're all thinking you're going to like stack it, you know, have some cool score. But on the Snoopy side of the board, as you get victory points, whoever is first to cross over these different thresholds gets some reward. And it's only the first player that gets it. So knowing when you want to, as the winner of a trick, take the points versus culling a card is very, very important. And that was something that as we played, we were like, oh. Also, maybe next time I'm probably going to try to like stash away some money and save up for that 20, so that I could use that at some point and jump 20 points. And I don't know, there was just all sorts of stuff, like having some control. Yeah, you don't have control over what you're drawing or what the other side is drawing, but you do have control over the cards you're adding to your deck. You do have control over the timing of when you play cards based on what other people are doing. And it just felt like we had some like really fun choices, and I enjoyed it like way more than I thought it was going to be from the initial pitch of it's just like a light trick taking, light deck building game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we all like quite liked it, and it doesn't hurt that the Peanuts art is adorable, and I love Snoopy and Charlie Brown and all those people. So I was a little disappointed that Franklin was a 2 value, because I was like, I gotta trash him. Poor Franklin. You know?
That is so funny that they're like, how do we assign, like, is Charlie a high number? Is Snoopy a high number?
Now I don't remember. All I can remember was poor Franklin.
Poor Franklin. They should have, like, thematically, Pigpen. What's like the...
Oh yeah, yeah. Now I gotta like open it up and like look and see how everyone's ranked.
Totally.
Sally's in there, Lucy, Peppermint Patty, the whole gang.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you've played the game it's based off of, Wishing Upon a Star or Wish Upon a Star.
I haven't. I bought Build Trick way back when it came, and it was like really cool because it was stamped on. It was like actually stamped. Was it cards or something? Like you tell it was game handmade, and similar. Like the first edition of 12 Chip Trick is like crokinole pieces with like stickers on them. And so I played with that one. I've yet to play this one. I really want to because my first design was like a trick taking deck building game. So I love this mix and mash. So I've always wanted to, but I never got
Zap Zap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say check it out.
Okay, nice. Yeah, no, I should for sure.
Because I was definitely like, again, it just surprised me. Like I was really thinking it was going to be kind of just okay, but I was like, this is actually like pretty fun, and there are some like mind games you can play too, since you're only having 3 cards in your hand, and like that race to get points and deciding when you want to buy cards and add them to your deck versus not. And there were like lots of moments where somebody's like, "Oh, you took the last 7. I wanted to get that," you know. So surprisingly pretty cool. Peanuts,
especially like
talent
the theme of Peanuts feels not kid like, but family friendly, maybe.
Yes, yeah, and it's definitely family friendly, but it can get cutthroat too. So, so that's Peanuts talent show.
I love that. My game, or my number 4, is No Loose Ends. It's designed by Taiki Shinzawa, the amazing, most prolific trick-taking designer. My favorite. It's an amazing designer. And then it was also developed by Paul Solomon and Pete Wissinger and published from Gamehead. And what's interesting is I played the game it was based on, which was, I think, Shut the Books. And that one, the theme is like magic library kind of ideas, very loose theme. But this one I picked because it pulls the gameplay in with the theme. Like I think they, what's that, like backronym? They took what existed gameplay-wise. This actually makes more sense with the theme, which is awesome. And I love how it works is it's a trick-taking game, and you're going to get dealt cards, and you're going to pick a certain amount of cards, and maybe similar to like Die Siebel Siegen, or I can never say this game, but like Die Sieben Seagal is what people call it.
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to predict the tricks that you're going to win in that color, but this is with the cards in your hand. And also, in addition to the color of the card being the color of the trick you might win, it also could be the number. So like if you pull out like a red 9, you could either win a red trick or a trick with a 9, or as the card you win it with. I think I'm saying that right. I kind of stumbled through that. But what's cool in the theme is you are essentially doing this whole like, I can win with this, and then it goes to the next person, they take a card out, I can win with this, and you go around, you show cards from your hand, kind of like Mew. But you have a level, it's super cool. But you have this level of like, someone can like, I think it's called snitch, and like they can like take all the cards back into their hand and be like, you know what, I'm out. And it feels very much in line with the theme, where you're like, you know what, not only am I like kind of out of this, I'm actually going to try to spoil everyone else. And so you actually get more points by messing over people, and also they can't get as many points because like the perfect crime bonus doesn't really hit when someone successfully snitches. And successfully snitching is just like you don't take any tricks. So it's really cool that when I'm teaching, I think what I think of a perfect thematic game, or a game that does theme well, is when I'm teaching and I inject the theme, and that helps people understand how the mechanics work and make people remember the mechanics. I think like that's when a theme is at its best, or when the theme works well, is when it helps explain mechanics, I think, especially in trick-taking games.
Totally. And yeah, no loose ends is probably one that I will add to my collection because I played it a couple times and it is great. And it's like, you know, I don't know if we mentioned it, but it's a bank heist.
Yeah, sorry.
So it's no worries. But it's a bank heist, and you're basically trying to like plan your bank heist with the cards you're playing in front of you are evidence, which you're trying to win tricks to then to then like kind of bury your evidence. But it really is like very like thematic feeling. And yeah, this is one I've been wanting to kind of come back to because I love a good game with some like fun bidding. And you're right, like the fact that it is thematic. It's like it feels very thematic for a trick taking game.
Yeah. I think they just knocked it out of the park. It's so fun. It's cool. Again, I hate to harp on it, but there's also a Saibepu art, so we love that.
Yes, love that, love that. Cool. So that's No Loose Ends. I guess another one that I will bring up is a game that I got a copy of, and I think maybe I got a complimentary copy, but I got it so long ago. Well, I guess not that long ago, but like at Essen 2024. And it's called A Midsummer Night's Dream. And this one is a climbing shedding game that's inspired by Shakespeare's Midsummer's Night Dream. This is a game designed by Ice Rain Lin. Remember I told you that I'm not like a huge climbing shedding kind of person. This is one that I found to be very fun. So the copy I have, it had English rules in it. And we discovered after we played the first game that there was a minor translation issue because in this game, you're trying to get rid of your hand of cards, like most climbing shedding games. And if you're first to get rid of your hand of cards, then all the other players that still have cards in their hand are going to count up all the heart icons or broken heart icons on the cards they have remaining in their hands. And they're going to take pretty much like that much damage. And so you have this like little score track where we all start at maybe 30 health or something like that. So as you lose rounds, your health kind of diminishes and the game will end once one player's health goes below 0 or hits 0 or below. And whoever has the most remaining health is going to win the game. The combos that you're playing are, I think it's like you could play a pair. There's a very specific tier of combos that you can play. And yeah, the first level is a pair of cards. Then it's a 3-card run. Then it's 3 of a kind, 4-card run, 4 of a kind, 5-card run, to 5 of a kind being the top of what you can play. And so, Taylor, if you play 2 4s, I can either pass, which I'll talk about passing in a second, but I can beat your 2 4s with anything that's higher, like 2 5s, but like the same size combo, just higher rank. Or I could go up exactly 1 tier on the combo hierarchy. And that means I could play a 3-card run of any kind. And the example in the rules went from a pair to 3 of a kind. So we assumed that you could jump from a pair to 3 of a kind, but you cannot. And that's a very important rule for this game, which we discovered after we played the first game. But but if you want to pass or you have to pass because you can't beat, you're going to take a wild card into your hand. And wild cards are great because in any combo that you make, you can play exactly 1 wild card as any number, which is nice. But the thing is, the wild cards have like a bunch of broken hearts. So if you get stuck with them, that's not good. So I like that you can, like that timing, taking a wild card and how many you take is kind of this like push your luck thing a little bit, because it's like, oh, it's going to help, but you can only play 1 at a time. And yeah, you don't want to get stuck with it. But that limitation of only being able to play like one step up really makes people have to pass more often. So then one of the timers for the round ending is either when somebody runs out of cards or when this deck of wild cards runs out. That's going to trigger the end. It's quite, I don't know what it is. Also, like when you get to the top tier of a combo, it's one of those games where you're going to keep playing till it passes all the way around to somebody, you know. Mm-hmm. But like the 5 of a kind, what can beat a 5 of a kind besides a higher 5 of a kind is 2 zeros. So you can play a pair of zeros, and like that is the only other thing that's going to beat a 5 of a kind besides a higher 5 of a kind. And that kind of like resets things, because it's like, then, all right, you just got to beat this pair or put a 3-card run, and you're playing through. And I don't know, like it gave me some like Schadenfreude like vibes with the, like Taylor's health is like really low, like maybe we could try. I mean, you don't have as much control over that, but it's fun to try to like push your health down, you know, if you're already down. But then again, you want to be in the position of having the most hearts. And there were people that we were playing with. I'm trying to think if we were playing with them or if they were sitting near us who were familiar with A Midsummer's Night Dream, and we're finding a lot of it to be very thematic.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's something I don't know if it's like a type of game that I like. I don't know if it's just the twist of losing health and having one person bust. Like if there's something about that, but this one quite captured me. If I'm going to say something possibly problematic, is I think I heard the art is like AI art. I'm not like 100% sure, but I feel like I heard whisperings of that. and that might be why there might be a new version of this coming at some point. But I did like it, and I think I played it like quite a few times in Cincinnati. Yeah, yeah. Cool. So yeah, are you familiar with this one at all?
No, I've never played or like I've heard of it, but I've not dabbled. It sounds cool. I always love twists on climate change stuff, and if it's thematic, like I do love that. Yeah, I do love that play, and I remember going to see it. So I grew up in Oregon, and the Oregon Shakespeare Festival is in Ashland.
Oh.
And so it's a very like big point of pride for Oregonians, like Shakespeare. And so when I was younger, that was the play I saw. So I've always liked that play. So that'd be fun.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. That's cool. I do really want to play, especially if you're like you're saying, like if you don't like climate change like as much as trick taking, and that really captured you, then there's something there, you know.
I like when you have that choice of when to pass. You can pass strategically, like not like, I only pass if I can't. Yeah, unless I'm forced to. And just like again, the timing of when is the round going to end. Yeah, there's just something about it that grabbed me quite a bit. What else you got on your list?
Yeah, that's so cool. I have a game called The Slasher, which came out at Tokyo Game Market, and I think actually got a new edition in limited quantities at Essen. But it's designed
at Essen. Yeah.
Yes. It's designed and art by Kei Takahashi, and the shtick is it's a 2-player cooperative trick-taking game where players are running around this campsite. Think, you know, every horror movie,
80s horror movie or something like that.
Yeah, totally. Where there's a killer, right? And they are chasing you and you're trying to get out. But how it works is players are going to be playing into tricks. And what you want is to essentially search through this deck with the quote unquote key items to be able to escape the killer. So it's like your car keys and like a flashlight or whatever they are.
Map.
And a map to get away. Yep. And so in that deck, though, is not only the killer, which is bad, but also like a bunch of junk, but also like things you could find, like a backpack and like things that can help you.
Helpful.
But so,
stuff,
like, you know, different various things that are actually like also thematically make sense to help you. Like if it's a flashlight or something, it like lets you look through the deck more because, you know, you have more light or whatever, right? But how it works is when in the trick taking, the different suits do different things to you, or do different things in the game. So like one suit lets you look more, one suit lets you heal up, one suit actually hurts you, and that's kind of like how you take like damage in the game. And how you lose is by one of you, I think, dying. And so like the killer,
yes,
yeah, which, you know, same way you lose that in life, you lose if you die. But so, but
yes.
the yes, yes, but also the killer, when they come out, they also, I think, attack you when they do come out. What's funny is I've actually only played the Tokyo Game Market version, and it was filled with, how do I say this nicely, like kind of bugs maybe, or like rough edges that they,
Oh,
the Jelly Jelly Games people who publish it, reached out and were like, hey, we actually sanded off like everything you kind of mentioned in the review. So that's cool. But
gotcha.
I really did want to play this new version. It sounds like you have, but essentially like you are cooperatively running around to different areas and searching. And what's cool is the variability in the game is not only it's a trick taking game, so you have different hands, but every different hand you're at a different place on the map. So like you might be in the
Yeah.
cabins or in the cafeteria or in the lodge or whatever it is. And that area not only has a different rule, like, hey, this round you can exchange a card or whatever, right? But it also has a stipulation that you both are trying to hit. Like maybe you both need odd amount of tricks, like 3 and 5, because you always play like 8 tricks or something.
Traps.
Or maybe you need, yeah, or traps.
Yeah, they're traps. Or at least
Yes.
in like my version, they're like these 3 trap tokens.
Yeah, so that wasn't in mine. I forget. Yeah, but like I think it's similar.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But yeah, like I think, or maybe it was and it was just translated weird. But anywho,
Possibly.
if you both satisfy this like extra goal, there's like I guess traps that
Yeah.
but it was super cool. So theme wise, it seems that, which I always love, is like in a game that is very thematic, they designed theme first, and there's a lot of choices that feel that way.
I love this one. So I was kind of drawn to it because it's a 2-player cooperative trick taking game.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you know, I like those. But the slasher theme, like, I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting and different. So I played it a couple times before I left Europe. I played it with Matt, and we had some like hilarious moments. The timing of when you first draw the killer is just like, oh no. And
Yes.
I'm going to tell you about like, 2 other things that happen, but what I like about it, like you're saying, is yeah, you have 2 in the version I have. You have 2 different levels of those like locations around this campsite, and so you don't exactly know when which location is going to like turn up. But you know, I think it's one of 3, unless you're playing with this like hardcore. There's one that's like got this hard, like difficult, super difficult location I haven't played with yet. But it'll tell you like who's gonna start and those rules, like you said. And it's like, yeah, if you want to avoid making these traps pop off, so you're like really working together to play your tricks. But as you win tricks, you're playing those cards face up in front of you, so you do have information about like, okay, if the cards only go to 5, I think is the highest, maybe, and they're 4 colors or something like that.
Yeah, 1 to 5. Yeah.
So it's like you are getting some information as you play, but it's another game like you can't talk to each other once you start playing. And at the end of that trick taking phase, you have to reveal items from that deck based on the number of yellow cards you took. And if you took no yellow cards, you still have to reveal 1. And when you're revealing these, it's terrifying because the killer is in the deck.
Yes.
And I just played with my friend Chris, and like his first draw was the killer, and we were just like, oh no. And then you have to shuffle, so then yeah, you take damage. And another cool thing about it is as you take damage, there's a white card suit in your deck, and what the white card means changes as you lose health. Like, so at the beginning of the game, any white cards you take are like green cards, which are going to offset some of the stabby cards if the killer finds you. But then, like, as you get more damage, then they become yellow cards, which is going to, like, make you draw more of those items, which is, again, increasing your chances of finding the killer. And there was this one time where I think I had to draw, like, 6 cards in the item phase. And I'm going, like, one at a time, like, terrified. And I get to the last, like, the 6th card, and I'm still safe. And I flip it, and it's the freaking cursed item. And the cursed item says, draw 2 more cards. And I'm like, no. And then actually, I think in this case, I might have been safe. But then, like, Matt had to draw, and so he got the killer.
Yeah.
It was, but just the suspense of that is really cool. And I feel like it's very, very thematic. So I'm glad you put it on the list. And I don't know how I didn't, like, have that.
I think it does a good, so, like, I think one of the most thematic games in my mind is, like, Letters from Whitechapel, that, like, feeling of, like, running around or Spectre Ops or whatever. Like, you're trying to evade the players, and it gets really tense and scary. And there's, like, that, like, weird negative push your luck where you're like, and it feels like that with the deck, right? Like, every time you draw into the deck, it's like a horrible like flip 7 or something, you know, you're like,
yeah.
I love that feeling. It does a great job.
Yeah, and then even if you don't draw the killer, let's say I had yellow, I won 3 yellow cards in the tricks that I took. I have to flip 3 cards, and some of them, like, sometimes it's a hard decision of, like, which one do I, like, it's like our goal is to escape, so we need the escape items. But sometimes some of those other, like, good ones that give you special abilities are pretty juicy too, and you know, might be helpful. But yeah, great game. I really dig it, like, because of it. I've had I think every time I've played it, I've had, like, funny moments, and, like, also the suspense of going through the item deck.
Totally.
Cool. Have you played My Own Sunny Day?
I have, yeah.
Okay, that's the next one I'm going to bring because I won it at the prize table, and I forget who told me, like, that it's a good one. And I've only played this one once, but My Own Sunny Day is designed by, yes, thank you. Oh, I love having you here to pronounce these the Japanese names. And it's published by Mashika.
Yeah, it's like his own, his own thing. So, like, his name, similar to his name.
Okay, yeah, and I was just, Sumida River. Oh, it's the same designer as Sumida River, or publisher at least.
Yeah, same designer. Yeah, Iados,
both.
Or, like, Worston Show is another classic one by them.
Cool. I haven't played that one, but My Own Sunny Day is a must follow trick taking game where the twist is there are 4 suits, and in the center of the table there are umbrellas. Umbrellas? Do you say umbrella or umbrella? I don't know.
I feel like I say umbrella, but that might be Rihanna. But I
do you say, like, umbrella, Ella?
Yeah, I say Ella.
But yeah, so you have
IP.
Yes.
For this game, my gosh. Sorry.
Let's make it happen. So in the game, you'll have on the table, like, 4 umbrellas related that have each suit that's in the game. So it'll be like red, blue, black, whatever. I forget what the colors are. But at the beginning of the game, and I think this is a 2-hand trick taking game. At the beginning of the game, there's no trump suit. At any point during the round, instead of playing a card into the trick, you can take one of the available umbrellas. And then that becomes a trump suit just for you.
Yes.
Okay? And so let's say I won 2 tricks, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to take my umbrella. In the next phase of the game, okay, wait, now I'm trying to remember. This is a weird one. Help me, Taylor, help me.
After you take your umbrella, you now have a personal trump, which is wild. So everyone has their own trump suit, which is cool. And you do eventually have to take one. And after that first hand, the arc of that one is you start off without a trump and then you get one near the end. The second hand, you're going to shuffle and redeal. You start with that same trump suit as your trump suit, and then you choose kind of in reverse order or kind of reverse mindset.
When to put it back.
When to put it back.
Close your umbrella. Yeah, you're closing the umbrella. And yes, thank you. And so what you're trying to do is make sure that the amount of tricks you took on the first hand of cards is the same amount that you're taking the second hand.
It's technically, you want to take the same amount before you open the umbrella.
Oh, yes. It's not related to the round. It's the opening of the umbrella and the closing. Yes.
So like in the first hand, sorry, yeah.
It's a weird one, but I like it.
Yeah. In the first hand, like, let's say you took 2 tricks and you're like, ugh, once I start having my own personal trump suit, I think I'll take 2 more. You'll be like, I'll take 1, right? And then you're hoping to take 2 tricks. You want to balance the number of tricks you take before you grab a trump suit and after. And then in the second hand, you have to balance how many tricks you win before you lose that trump suit and then after.
Yes. And I'm looking at the BGG page right now. It says, my own sunny day is a contemplative game about finding just the right moment to step into the sun. Love it.
Very contemplative. Yeah. I want to add that to like every game I design. It's very contemplative.
Yes. You should. But I really enjoyed this one. I want to play it more. It's definitely like a thinker, and I love I love games where you have to like hit your bid more or less. And the ones like what's the black and white trick taking in black and white?
Oh yeah, trick taking in black and white. Yeah.
Where you have to balance out the amount of tricks you're winning. Yeah,
they both have like that idea of like bid as you go is like a fun thing to me.
Yeah.
It's like it's a fun way to teach people bidding, and like that it's almost like a bid. It's like, oh, when do you think you're done? Or when do you think, like, if I have 2 tricks, do you think you'll take 2 more? Exactly. And it's like, that's what you pull that or grab that umbrella.
Yeah. And then like also just the impacts of not only you having your umbrella, but like when other people start getting their umbrellas, it like just changes everything up. And super cool. So I'm looking forward to playing this one more. And that is called My Own Sunny Day.
Yes, great pick. I think
Thank you.
Maybe it might have been me. I might have been like whispering in your ear, yes, that's a good one. Yes, pick that one.
Yes, probably.
It's a favorite. I love it.
Cool.
My second game, or my game number 2 rather, is Rowdy Partners. It's a game designed by Jason Hager and Darren Reckner. Coming out Capstone Games. I think it was out Essen. Yep, totally.
Because I got it too.
Oh, nice. Oh my gosh. Okay, perfect. So I actually, what's funny is the Dice Tower had a video on this today and talked about it in the same way, where like it plays 2 to 4, but in my mind, it's like a 4-player game because of the Rowdy Partners.
Yes.
And I think the idea is it's 2v2 and it's a trick-taking game, but you're on teams of, 2v2. And a couple interesting things is like you're sitting next to your partner, which is fun. And when you play into the trick, you're actually going to be separated in a funny way. So the person who leads is going to play, and then the other team is going to play twice in a row, and the other person on their team of the leader is going to then play at the end. So it's kind of this like interesting kind of like, not stilted.
Swapperoonie kind of.
Yeah. I think that is totally the term. I love that. And so what's fun is you will always have one player on each team in the ring. So if you're familiar with wrestling, especially tag team wrestling, which I think this is playing off of, is like there'll be someone fighting, and then someone will tag in. The players, or the wrestlers rather, will swap and then fight a bunch. I played a lot of Tekken Tag Team Tournament, which is like this older fighting game where you would pick 2 wrestlers, right? And you would fight off, and you would,
Okay. I've heard of Tekken, but I didn't know there was like a whole tag team wrestling.
Yeah. I think it came out after like Tekken 3, so around that era. But I've always I love the concept. It feels like such a fun design space to be like, oh, you can mix and match all this stuff, and in the game you can pick a wrestler, and then the other, your partner in the game can pick a different wrestler, and you actually like combine forces, and this really cool like the graphic design of it all, the production of it all is like two pieces that come together kind of like a wrestling mask, if you're
Yep.
familiar with luchadora wrestling or luchador wrestling. But like, so you will combine two wrestlers together, and
The
that actually
player
will form.
boards, yeah.
Yeah, the player boards will like form a track of sorts that's important to the trick taking and the wrestling. And so, oh my gosh, I'm just like, there's so much of this game. But so
I know, but it's cool and it is very thematic, so I love it. Yes.
yes. So in addition to someone being in the ring, that person is going to be the person taking the hit or like taking the damage.
Yes.
And how that works is whoever plays the lowest number in the trick is going to win the trick. And they are going to inflict the rank of the card that they won with as damage. That's why it's lowest on the other team. And it's specifically on the player on the other team that's in the ring. So they have on the side, they have this visualization in the game that's like who's in the ring, and you're on this kind of like wrench of sorts. And one side is the person who's on your partner, and one side's you. And you'll like flip around and it'll change who's in the ring and who's off the ring and like who's as well. But so
yeah.
The whole goal is you just don't want one of you to get knocked out. And so you're balancing constantly who's in the ring, who's taking damage, who should get out of the ring, and back and forth. And one small note is you just keep playing hands until someone gets knocked out. But you have kind of these, if you're familiar again with wrestling, like on the ropes, or the term someone's on the ropes is like if someone's like getting beaten up and like falling like against the ropes. And you have this mechanic where like, yes, you take damage based on the rank, but at the very end, you can like technically have like a few last stands. And so the game always inevitably comes to someone or multiple people being like able to take like maybe one more hit, two more hits or something. And it's just like, how does that, how did those last few tricks happen with those few hits?
Yeah.
It's pretty wild stuff. I didn't even mention like you get tokens and
special power. Yeah.
And another big part of the game is if you play the same rank as another person or previously played card, flip them face down. So sometimes, I mean, that almost feels like wrestling. We're like flipping a card, like,
boom, slam it on the table. Yeah.
Slam it on the table, exactly. But yeah, so there's this cancelization effect. There's a lot of moving parts to this game. Once you get into it, it's relatively simple. But as you can tell, like with so much of the theme in just the rules teach, this is a very thematic game. And I think you definitely want to stay for the theme. I think that was maybe one of the criticisms I had was like the trick taking can get a little simple and obvious, but like the theme itself kind of really
brings it all. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And I actually did get a chance to play this 2 players also, but I love the I think I love the 2v2 better just because I tend to like team games. But when you play 1v1, you have a different set of like wrestlers that you play with. And like instead of having 2 wrestlers on your team, you have like a manager and a wrestler combination that slots together as a player board. But as you're talking about it, it's like reminding me like I like this quite a bit. And I feel like every time I play it with people, we get into like kind of like LARPing when you put a card in and you're like, oh yeah, and then I throw you down, So it definitely captures the theme, and with the characters of the different wrestlers that you can play, and they each have like a special ability. And I did find that sometimes it would seem like, one side's getting like really far ahead, but then because they have that mechanism of like, hey, like you have to hit thresholds to do a single damage at the very end because they're holding on the ground and they're like, no, I still got it in me. So I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, I haven't played it a ton, but I think I've played it like 3 or 4 times, and like usually the ending is very kind of suspenseful because it seems like it's gonna like be just like a knockout, and then that's a different sport, right? Seems like it's gonna be like over, it's like one team's just gonna like, they're going nuts. but then it turns around and you're like, oh no, well, they got up and now they're jumping off the rope and all that stuff. So yeah, Rowdy Partners is really, really good. I think it came out at Essen, or maybe it's like just rolling out, like maybe it was an early release or something like that. And I'm pretty sure there are more wrestlers coming. So I think this one is going to be expanded at some point, hopefully. But yeah, Rowdy Partners is another great one to bring up. And yeah, I'm glad you did, because I like it a lot as well.
Yes.
So I'll just mention, kind of talked about A Very Civil Whist a little bit, but A Very Civil Whist I really like. I ended up playing with Ashley there because I guess like people are having a hard time getting this one. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but I got a complimentary copy at Essen, and it's from Phalanx. And again, Fred, our good friend Fred Serval, designed it. And I think this one started as like a design contest that kind of ended up. Yeah, it was like a game. I think that it was involved. Like he made it for some contest, and then Phalanx picked it up. But it's a 2-player English Civil War game. It's very cool because not only does it like look gorgeous, but it takes a 2-player war game and kind of makes it. I'm not saying I learned much about like the English Civil War playing it per se, but the way that the card play is in this game is cool because you have a phase of the game where you are kind of crafting your hand, and that is trick taking. So you're like taking tricks to draft cards to craft your hand. Then there's an event that always pops off. Then when you get into the round, you can like play a trick more or less to like advance yourself on a track, one of these like war tracks. Like part of it is for a map, part of it's for like, I think it was like foreign aid or something like that. But you play tricks there, but then you can also like on your turn, when you get to this like this main phase of the game, you can play a card to kind of tick up this track that each side has their own track, Parliament and the Royalists. And advancing on this track is going to unlock some cool stuff and also make you eligible to win, because in order to win, you need to have that track to a certain point and be winning on a number of tracks. I don't remember the exact amount, but the other cool thing that makes it even cooler, if that didn't sound cool enough, is that each side has these leaders, and these leaders have special abilities. And before you get into that main like action phase, both players are going to secretly place a number of their leaders on the board in these different kind of, we'll say, theaters of war, like these different areas these tracks you're competing on. And then after you put them face down simultaneously, reveal them. And that's when, like there's one of those leaders that says your opponent cannot play or cannot trump you. So like, even if they play the trump suit because they can't follow and they're trying to win, that's like, it doesn't trump. So there's like stuff like that. There's some that say, hey, whatever card you play into this theater, you will get plus 2.5 to the value of your card. So all sorts of shenanigans you can pull with these leaders. You only start with a few, but then as the game progresses, depending on events that pop up, others might come out. The other thing is, if you're in a theater and you lose the trick, so let's say I lead and you end up winning and I'm like, boo-hoo, I have to do a casualty check to see if that leader token goes away. And there's a deck, all of the 1s and 2s in the game are shuffled, maybe 1s, 2s, and 3s, I think, are shuffled together to make this casualty deck. Right. And so if I end up flipping a card that the casualty is higher or lower or something, I don't know, compared to my leader, that leader goes away for the rest of the game. So yeah, there's just like some really like nice, like everything, all the different phases in this game are cool. Like, again, I like that you get to like craft your hand. I like that there's an event. I like that we secretly play these leaders and then we're doing our actions, and it becomes very tense feeling. And I think this game is freaking gorgeous. Like, I just like love the look and feel of it. Although there's one thing I want to ask Fred, is it comes up every time, but some of the cards, like, so let's say there's a red suit and a black suit, but some of the cards, and I don't even know if you know this, but like some of the cards they're not just like red and black, like they're different shades, and some of the red suited cards have a darker red. And I don't know if there's some reason. So I have to ask Fred because I'm like so curious, like why that choice was made. It can be like a little confusing sometimes. So I hope there's some purpose to why the colors vary within the suit. But yeah, Very Civil Whist is a banger.
Yeah. I'm with you with the different tones. Like, I think that's a classic thing where sometimes companies will make trick-taking games where like there's a gradient of the color in the background, and if you have it flipped, it's like sometimes it's lighter green versus like darker green, and I think that throws players off so much.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You casually, while you're like, especially when you're trick-taking game, like you're playing really quickly, you use like almost your peripheral and like, you know, your eyeball quick color to make distinctions in your hand. And so like if it's the same suit but it's like slightly different colors, it just is like ugh. Anywho, I have played. I do really like it. I think there's some really fun. I think what it does really well is like it makes me look up the history of it all. Like, does it hit for you? I don't know if war game's the right word, but like, does it hit that like historical game itch for you? And like, it's like a fun marriage of that and trick taking. Because I know you play way more historical games than I do.
Yeah, and I'll say like I actually like I kind of hinted at earlier. Like I have not really delved into the history. Like I know there's a lot of art and it looks like there's some flavor text on the cards, but like because it's like more like track driven and a little abstract, I have not really like been like, ooh, I want to learn more about this particular like English Civil War.
I see, yeah.
But that being said, it's not to say that like when I play it at some point I won't, you know, I might have that curiosity. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who these leaders are really. Now you're making me curious. Now I'm like, oh, well, are the leader effects kind of tied to how it worked? Now I gotta find out. But and I'm pretty sure I read the designer notes or like the background, but I honestly don't remember because I've only played this like 2 or 3 times.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think me too. I think I've been around 2 or 3 times. I think like, I don't know, it just does what I love where I go see like a movie. I don't know, maybe Oppenheimer is a recent example where I'm just like, oh, and I like it excites this part of my brain that I'm like, oh, whoa, what is this about?
Yes.
Which I think is what good art does. So I love that about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe like I haven't gone that level with this because it's like such a short game or something. I don't know, because like definitely with Fire in the Lake, like I'm like all obsessed about the Vietnam War, like reading, watching stuff. I have on my little solo table here a new game, Iwo Jima, Hell on Earth, and I'm like now like super into that. That's like way more complex. So I don't know. Like, I don't know, but that's a good question. That's a good question.
Or did I mistake? Were you saying, you're watching the Ken Burns, the Civil War? Like, I think, I didn't know if that was game related as well, but.
Oh, no. I'm watching the Ken Burns Vietnam War.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. That's right. But I did see that there are like all these other Ken Burns documentaries that I haven't seen before. So I will be definitely going down some rabbit holes there.
Burns, instead of Burns hole. But yeah, like just down that. Ken's great.
Yes. But I know what you mean. Like when you see a movie about something like historically based and you want to kind of like learn more about it. It's one of my favorite things about historical games. So you got one more or a combo?
Yeah, I have a bit of a combo. Just like I want to do some quick honorable mentions just because some of these, I think when I think of thematic trick taking, I'm like, oh yeah, but then I did development on it, so I didn't want to be too biased. So
yeah, for sure.
One of them we kind of mentioned, but like the Lord of the Rings games were so fun because you have like this source, right? The source material that is so rich, and so you're like, oh, how can we pull this from it and make this character this and this? And like Brian Ornmuller is so well versed in that. And like there's so much deepness, like in like Lord of the Rings facts and Lord of the Rings wiki and like podcasts on it. And so you can get really, really deep, and it's fun to like dig in those minds for like thematic reasons for why the character does this, or why their goal is this, or why their setup is this. Even down to the minutia of like someone's setup is I'm going to pass a mountain because they are the one who talks about mountains a lot, or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah.
That was super, super fun. And then a couple others. I did development on the Shards of Creation trick-taking game, which is, I don't know if you've ever read any like Brandon Sanderson, but
no.
Mistborn and Stormlight. But similar ideas, like it's really fun to hit a wall maybe in the design and be like, okay, what does the source material do? Or what does the theme do? And like have that be like the arbiter of like where to go. And it's been really fun to have theme dictate design choices, which is super, super, super fun. And then some other super small mentions. I developed this one game by my friend Ben Kearns, who it's called 30 to Go. And the premise is like you are defusing this bomb as a team. And it's cool because I don't know if you've played like American Bookshop or like Cauldron 15, like those games where like the number matters a lot. I guess cribbage fun too. And like, what does a number mean? And having that be like bomb related really let a lot of the scoring and a lot of the gameplay lead to that. Like those changes and twists. And like, I don't know, defusing a bomb is a little stressful. So there's like that feeling of like it gets really close and gets really tense, kind of like a slasher.
Yeah.
As you get closer, you're like, wait.
I have a question about that. 30 to Go. Would I have seen that and or played it? I feel like I played that when I went to PGC Con that one time.
You might have. So Ben did a bunch of like indie markets, like you mentioned Game Market West.
Yes,
indie markets are popping up everywhere, and it's like something I love to like talk about, but I won't go too deep in the rabbit hole. But like, there's Indie Game Night Vegas, which is over at PAX Unplugged and run by Daniel Newman, and like there's Game Market West, which is done by Johnny, and I think there's so many fun stuff. I'm doing one Game Market Vegas at Dice Art West soon.
Yes,
and like
fun.
And then there's the PNW West Market. But so essentially, Ben brought his game to a couple of them, like the one up in Seattle and the one in Vegas, and has shown some folks maybe possibly at PGC. So you might have.
I think I might have, because like I remember something with the timing of bombs, but maybe Ben will know if I played it, an old version at least.
Yeah, he has shown it off, and I think it's like a really fun feeling of, I don't know, like I don't know why I'm thinking of The Hurt Locker as an example, because I don't think that's a fun movie, but like that sense of just like, or maybe Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is like a pretty popular game, but like there's a bomb, right? And it's like so stressful, and you're like And then the last one is ESP by Carter Bobkides and with art by Alex. There's like, I don't know if you know that idea of like telepaths or like clairvoyants who like can understand what symbols on the other side of a card without looking at it, like that whole idea of like, can you actually do telepathic tricks and stuff? And this game is based on that, where like you can technically get a point if you guess what the card that you're about to flip for whatever the trump suit is going to be. It's just there's like a level of like, and then like you pick 2 cards as your bid, and then eventually pick 3 cards as your bid, and like it gets to a point where like you should know what it is because you just looked at it, but like you forget because there's so much like info that's just like going in and out of your brain. It's super funny, but like I've never thought of that idea of like fake psychics being like a theme, and then having that in the gameplay of like trying to guess.
and it's called ESP.
Sorry, yeah, it's called ESP : Experiment in Supersensory Perspicacity.
I'm sorry, I had to make you say it all.
I'm so sorry, I cannot say that. Anyway, sorry.
Psychedelic cover art there. Cardner! Oh, I love Cardner.
Yeah, Cardner, who is now at Buried Giant Studio, the new
Buried Giant. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and she did Hot Dog and Number Wang with art by Alex as well, and Odd Candy's super rad. Check him out. But anywho, off to my final one, which you might have seen being played because this did get a good amount of plays at TJ, but it's called Tricky Landing, and it is designed by Mike Pecci, and I think art and graphic design and like playtesting by other people in his family, just because the name was the same. But the premise is,
I missed this one. Yeah, I didn't see it, but I see that Mike has a game called Butt Radio.
oh my god, yeah.
Go ahead, carry on.
So I think that is a good footnote that I should bring up, because that also is very thematic. I just hadn't played it yet, so I really want to. But so the premise of this one is it's called Tricky Landing, and it's trick taking with dexterity. And the theme is you are at a carnival of sorts, and you have a handful of cards that are all clowns. And I've never seen it, but I think there's that idea of like clowns get shot out of cannons and they land on like a target space. Well, target space. That's very like mechanic. I think they land on like a net or like a.
Okay. Yeah. I know I'm picturing it.
Okay. Yeah. So in the game, your hand is the cannon, and you're throwing these cards, and you're trying to hit the target. Because if you hit the target, it makes it so it's viable to win in some way. If you miss the target, it's maybe likely negative points. So the whole dexterity part of the game is you're hucking these cards and trying to land, but it's like you're playing tricks, like you're playing into the trick by throwing the card, but you might miss the target and do worse, and you might hit the target and do better. And how well you are at dexterity is actually kind of playing into the trick in a way. But I love the theme of it in that you are hucking these clowns into the trick, and it's so silly because like all these cards are like landing in there, and it's fun how there, like, I won't go too into detail, but there's like levels of you could throw off to the side to maybe set that, because if there's only one card that missed the target, it sets the trump, which is really cool.
Okay.
And it's may follow, so you can like save your stronger cards for later.
Interesting.
There's some slight, I know it's like a silly dexterity game, but there's like some really fun rules that make it a little meatier than one would assume. But it's a good time. It's really fun, and it plays like 2 to 6. Yeah.
Tricky landings. Oh, cool. I like the cover, the box cover art also.
Yeah.
It's got that like kids book kind of feel to it, and with that cannon.
Yeah, and all the clowns are drawn. I think it might have been maybe illustrated by a child, maybe his child. I don't want to assume if it was someone.
Yeah.
But like it definitely has like a kid drew this vibe. Maybe adult drew it, and that's what they were going for, but it has that fun feel.
Sure. Cool. The last few that I want to just quickly mention aren't necessarily thematic that I'm aware of, but since you just brought up all the different indie like game markets and all of that good stuff, over the weekend I had a like a game yard sale, and I love it because it always turns into like a bit of a hang. And a couple people who were there at the end, we ended up like playing a couple games outside. But my friend Chris Lawrence, who you might know, Chris has a game that he's going to be bringing to the upcoming Game Market West this March called Tricked Out. And Tricked Out is a game that is played with any trick-taking game. And it is like a meta game that is happening. It's impacting the trick-taking game that you're playing. But then you score Tricked Out as a game separately. And because we're wild, and my friend Francisco was there and hadn't played Robo Trick and wanted to play Robo Trick, the three of us decided to try playing Robo Trick with Tricked Out. And oh my gosh, I felt so bad for Francisco because he had never played Robo Trick. And you know how like kind of like the thinking of that game is on its own, and now we're throwing this other game on top, and it was super wild, but the premise of it is pretty fun. So you'll see in the Tricked Out deck, so you like set up any trick-taking game as you would, and then you're going to shuffle this deck of Tricked Out cards, and you reveal one, and then you see which one's coming too. So there'll be like one on top of the deck face up, so you know what's coming. But these cards are gonna like either kind of give you something, like some of the cards were something that impacted the whole, like everybody at the table. Some of them were like, okay, if you win the trick, you're gonna get this card. and it means something. And sometimes it gives you like a one-time ability, or maybe it's just like points for the tricked out game. So at the bottom of the card, you'll have a number of stars. And so when you're finished the game, all of the tricked out cards you collect, you're going to score those up as like a separate game. But then you have other things like, you can like, everybody discards a card or something like that, or flip a card face down that's in front of another player. And there were moments where we had questions as it related to RoboTrick specifically, but Chris always had like an answer of, and it to me, even though I've only played Tricked Out once and with RoboTrick, I feel like it's cool that you can play it with anything, and like the kind of like rules and abilities that are in there, they just give you a twist. Like, let's say you played Seas of Strife a million times and you love it. Throw this in and like see how it makes that experience change. And then like, you're balancing a lot of different things, and it was quite fun. It's very interesting and innovative, and yeah, I'm excited to get a copy when he like actually prints the like maybe Game Crafter or whatever he's doing for Game Market West. But yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, he's having it at Game Market Vegas as well.
Okay, that's right.
And so I was like, please, because sometimes it's stuff like the only requirement of the game markets usually is like a minimum copies. And in Indie Game Net Market and Game Market Vegas, they both have like 20 as the minimum. And I've been in situations where, especially the first Indie Game Net Market, geez Louise, it was just so packed. But like sometimes it's hard to like get a copy. And so sometimes you're like, but so yeah, we were chatting. I was like, I'd love to get a copy. It sounds so fun. My goodness.
So that was cool. And like, yeah, Chris is a friend. Like he's playtested my game a bunch, and he's like now been kind of like building up a whole like playtesting scene, and it's cool. It's cool and he's got some signed games and stuff in queue, and I'm excited for him. Yay!
Yeah, Chris. He's super nice. We played a few games together, and he had propaganda at Game Market Vegas last year.
Yeah, so and he just hooked me up with a copy of that so I can finally try that one. But he is one of the victims of my Greek Gaming Godess power.
I love that. No one to hold him, no one to hold him.
Yeah, and then I'll just say like the last 3 games I just want to like just shout out. One is Mew. Is it Mew or Mew? Mew?
I've heard both. Yeah, I don't know. It has the umlaut.
I'll call it Mew because that's also the name of one of my favorite bands from Denmark, MEW.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I just love this game. Like, this is only my second time playing it, and like playing it with 5 players and having a game where, like, I love games like Les Plateaux where the partnerships shift as you play the game. And I love the fact that you're playing cards on the table to kind of bid for making your teams, but you're also like giving people information and communicating to each other. And so all I'll say is like, I just love it. And every time I play it, like, I feel like I'm not great at it, but I want to play it more and more. So that's that. And it's like, it's now, there is like for a while it was out of print, but now there's a new, I think it was called the Mew Revised Edition that's out.
It's super great.
Yeah. And then I also played Ouroboros. Did you play that one?
Yeah, I played that one with the designer actually, so it was really fun.
Okay, cool. And the Ouroboros trick, it's called. Yeah, Ouroboros trick, if you're looking it up on BGG. The tag says a self-devouring trick-taking where survival is the only victory. And in this one, like, whenever you win tricks, the card the lowest number that's in the trick that you have to discard that many cards from, like, your deck or something like that.
Yeah, you have, like, so every time you win a trick, you collect all the cards and you put it in front of yourself. And whenever you're out of cards in your hand, you have to take all the cards that you put in front of yourself, like as a pile, so all the tricks you won, back in your hand. And so it's kind of like I mean, Ouroboros, you're a snake eating yourself.
See, thematic.
Every time you win
There
a
we
trick,
go.
yeah, very thematic, very thematic. Yeah, the lowest number you have to ditch, and they go out of the game forever. And so what's tough and wild is you could win a trick, which is cool because you just got, you know, a certain amount of cards depending on the player count. Maybe you had a 4-player, you get like 4 cards. But if the lowest number was 5, you actually just lost 5, and you have to lead. So it's like, ugh. So sometimes it's trick taking, sometimes it's trick avoidance. I found like trumping in with a really low number is really good.
Hot tip.
And so, yeah, hot tip.
Cool. Yeah,
It's cool.
I want to try to get a copy of this one because I thought it was cool. And I forget if there was a winner in it or if it's just like one person loses.
It's just one loser, yeah.
But I do like the way you're kind of like shedding your cards and the risk there in the push your luck. So that was one. And then the other one that I liked a whole bunch was Final Binary. Final Binary is, I believe, by the same designer as Nukos Dice. And
yep.
It is a very kind of like weird, boring looking game because the cards have these numbers. I forget what that font is, but it looks like computer text or something like that. And everybody gets these small cards that you'll have in front of you, almost as if you've played Nukos Dice, it's a game where you're playing tricks with cards in your hand and different colored dice that correspond to the suits. Well, it's like you have this row of cards of different numbers that are kind of what the dice were in Nukos Dice. But in this game, it works completely differently because you have a 4-2-1 card in front of you. And as you're doing certain things, you're like flipping some cards face down and you're messing with flipping these 4-2-1 cards face up and face down, which is triggering the other cards flipping. And then like whichever card is the last one facing up is your bid of how many tricks you want to win. And you might be able to make that clearer sounding. But it's cool.
No. It's as complicated. It's as crazy and complicated as you're making it sound because it is wild. It's essentially bidding as you go, but you're bidding with cards that will change how much your rank gets boosted by. So it's
yeah. It's like that public display of cards. Like I think there are a couple of cards that everyone gets, but then the rest are kind of randomly dealt out. And yes, 2-bit is what I was thinking, the binary 2-bit cards. Yeah, they're influencing the number of tricks you take, but also messing with the strength of the cards you're playing. And it was wacky and wild, and I liked it a lot. And then that actually reminds me, because then I had to like hit up a bunch of my friends who have the import and always like have these like crazy trick taking games about getting that. And I think I have a copy coming to me at some point, along with the final mention, which is a surprise mention, Kusoge trick, which is have you played it?
I think a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This game was taught to me or presented to me as the shittiest trick taking game. Excuse my French, but this is a game where you are like, you have like, oh my gosh, now I'm trying to.
You have like
you have like a toilet in front of you, and you're like trying. I feel like not to overload the toilet, but you're getting these cards with little pixelated poop images. This sounds.
It's
the art, I'll just have to wait, but I'll just say it is thematic. I've only played it once, and I'm waiting to get a copy of this one. Oh yeah, the rules for scoring change. It's in the vein of Hearts.
Yeah, it's really wild. It starts off, the first round is like Hearts, so you don't want anything, and then the second round is like technically, if you get the most tricks, you can pass off some poop, so it changes. And then the third round is like every poop you capture goes to the player to your right, so it becomes like a trick capturing game. And then the last round is you only play with the poop cards. So it's like a really small, weird, wild last round. But yeah, it's super wild.
Okay, I can't wait to play this one again. Okay, anyways, that was great. And I know like it's not like today we just talked about the only thematic trick-taking games and shedding games. Like there are so many more out there. it's super exciting that there's still so many really cool, innovative trick-taking games coming out. I'm definitely getting, like, I'm less of, like, I was at a place at some point where I would just buy everything, try to get everything. I've even imported games that I still have not translated or anything or found translations for to actually play them. So I've slowed down quite a bit with what I'm kind of like bringing in, but there's still like a bunch that are like, I was just contacted today that there's one that's coming my way that I'm excited to try. And yeah, and I love like the fact that the Lord of the Rings series, Two Towers, is out now. Like,
yeah, it's wild that it's out, because we finished it like almost 2 years ago. So it's crazy to be like, what? And I remember we like kind of finished it before even the first one was out, and so we weren't sure if like how that was going to land, and like we're just like,
yeah,
Two Towers.
Yeah,
but it looks to be going pretty well. There's some chapters that I think are giving some people some guff, which I think it's a much harder one. So if you're going into it, just know it starts at chapter 19, and that's because it just goes. So like first chapter is much harder, and every other chapter is harder. But it's fun. It's been super cool. It has my favorite, like Treebeard is my favorite character, and Sophie is so fun. So I'm super jazzed. I hope people dig it. It's cool that it's out and starting to get reviews, and following what people are saying.
Yeah, really I'm so happy for you and Brian. And I know I have some friends who are like, oh, another Lord of the Rings game. Not specifically with the trick-taking ones, but just like Fate of the Fellowship came out. You know, it's just like this explosion. Right. But they're good. Yeah. They're great games. Like, and I love Lord of the Rings. So it's like, it's all working for me. It's all working.
Totally. I have like a mindset of, like overwhelmingness. Sometimes it's like, oh, when zombies were big, there was a lot of zombie games, or like a lot of pirate games. But I mean, like the Duel for Middle Earth is like one of the highest rated games on BGG now. Yes. Like, and it's so good. And Fate of the Fellowship is just like so good. And like, I mean, like Matt Leacock's amazing.
Yes.
And like, I think, the trick-taking Lord of the Rings games are fun. Obviously biased, but I think if they were bad, I could see being overwhelmed. But for some reason, I'm just like, these are awesome.
Yes.
So again, huge buy.
Incredible. Yeah. Incredible. Well, Taylor, thanks so much for kicking it with me today. I know you're a busy bee, and so it's always great to like just chat with you. I feel like we chatted for like a half an hour before we recorded, and here we are 2.5 hours later. But yeah, thanks so much.
No, it's just the best. I know last time we chatted, I was left like buzzed because I think it's just so much fun. So I obviously was so down, and this totally was just the best. So thank you so much for having me.
And one thing we didn't even realize is technically it's Trick-Takeuary. It's like our Trick-Takeuary anniversary.
We're so
we're Jay and Jenna,
I know. That'd be so funny. Maybe we should reach out. Maybe we should assemble.
We should do something at some point.
But yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, and I will see you at some point this year. You've been listening to the Kickin' It Creative podcast, produced and edited by Candace Harris. Special thanks to Matt Fonda for editing and mixing our music. Be sure to visit us on the web at kickinitcreative.com and on YouTube for even more Kickin' It Creative content crafted by Candace. Thanks for listening, and happy gaming!